Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I have a special guest with us, Gerald. Yeah, I missed him. So you guys, today we're going to be reviewing Nirvana's Elizabeth and James, Rose.
And Bourbon.
And yeah, I'm going to be representing Rose and Gerald's going to be representing Bourbon. And they smell really, really good, so we're going to get into it, okay guys? Mwah. Alright guys, so the boxes are pretty cool. They're kind of similar. They kind of have like the gold edging around them and whatnot. And then yeah, mine is just kind of like in this wine red.
And mine's more like a caramel color.
And yeah, they just kind of say Elizabeth and James right on the back and then in the front. And it just kind of says like our like perfume name. And one thing that's really interesting about them is that mine says Geranium, Rose, and May. Geranium, Rose, then May, and Vetiver.
And then mine says Oakwood, Vanilla Bourbon, and Tuberose.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's just kind of the notes within like the perfume. Alright guys, so we're getting into the bottles next.
Okay guys, now we're going to look at the bottle design, which is kind of reminiscent of like lighters with the way they have the gold etching around like the sides and then the way the cap is designed. It also has this rigid texture, kind of similar to like those square pyramid studs that you saw at like, you know, Hot Topic belts and stuff like that. And the only real difference is just kind of like the color again, where the rose one is a little bit more of a wine color, and then the other one, the bourbon, is more of a caramel color.
Well, and it's also good to note that they kind of have engraved right there, like Elizabeth and James Nirvana, which is their brand of the Olsen twins. But yeah, as usual, we have three of the strongest notes within the perfume. I have mine, which are the Rose de May, the Geranium, and the Vetiver, and Gerald has?
I have the Tuberose, the Oakwood, and then the Vanilla.
Okay guys, so we're getting to the weakest of the three, okay? Alright guys, so the weakest note within Rose is Geranium. And yeah, Geranium kind of just gives like this lively, green, fresh cut note. Gerald kind of thinks it smells like guava, right? Like you said.
Yeah, very similar to like a guava tree.
Yeah, and it kind of does. It has like this very guava-esque kind of a smell, but it is the lightest note within this perfume, just to note that. Alright guys, the next note up is Vetiver. And yeah, Vetiver just kind of gives like this very dry, masculine green kind of a quality, very grassy, but very just kind of hayish like in some kind of a way. Think of Vetiver in a way of a man's cologne. It just kind of adds like a depth to the perfume, and it's really enjoyable. Okay guys, so lastly, at least from my end of the perfumes, this kind of just has a very dry, slightly English kind of a rose. Very, very feminine in a way, but just again, very dry. Think of like dried roses as opposed to fresh, lively, just rained in the garden kind of a rose. And yeah, this is just kind of like that smell, very fall-like, very pretty, and very feminine.
Okay guys, so for bourbon, the lightest note is the Tuberose, which is kind of like this tropical white floral. And usually it's kind of a diva in the fragrance world, but in this perfume it's not really like the star player. Okay guys, so the next strongest note, which is kind of a tie with the Oakwood, is going to be the Vanilla. And in this perfume, the Vanilla kind of has more of that like niche quality to it, where it's kind of like, not exactly that sweet vanilla, but more of a raw scent. And it's really nice, and it's kind of what adds that bourbon quality to this perfume.
Yeah, I agree. This is vanilla bourbon, not vanilla, and this is just kind of one of those notes that kind of gives a liqueur kind of a taste to it. And yeah, very gourmand in a way. I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay guys, so for the last note in bourbon is actually this oak wood kind of smell, and it's really nice and kind of similar to like sandalwood, but more of like, think of like a fireplace, that real smoky kind of aura around it. And for me as like a chef, it kind of really reminds me of like smoked meats and like other like smoked cheeses, stuff like that. And I think it adds a really nice deep quality to this perfume. I'm not saying it's meaty, I'm just saying that smoke quality is very similar to what you would find in smoked meats.
Alright guys, in terms of sillage, Rose has more of a little bit more sillage, but they're pretty much around the same. Bourbon is just kind of like the same way, right?
Yeah, it has a pretty good, decent sillage, but I think this is kind of meant to be a little bit of a cozier thing, so a little bit more intimate.
In terms of longevity, Rose kind of lasts a little bit longer than Bourbon does. That's kind of weird because this is a floral mid-note, and that's kind of like a base normally used in perfumes. But yeah, I would say this lasts probably 6 to 7 hours, and yours probably lasts...
maybe like closer to like 5.
Yeah, 5 to 6 hours I would say. But yeah, they have good longevity and really good sillage. Alright guys, times of days we would wear this. They're nighttime perfumes. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would definitely wear this during the night, not like a grocery shopping kind of
It's true. It's kind of a nighttime perfume. In terms of where to wear it, I would say like a bar. We were discussing this earlier. It just kind of has like this thing where like you go out at night and you go out to get drinks with your friends and you're wearing like leather jackets and flannels, and it's just kind of like those cool motorcycle just passed. It's kind of a cool, kind of slightly New York kind of a scent, right?
Yeah, I definitely kind of say like leather jacket, like a slightly like upscale like jazz club kind of scent. I would definitely wear this for it.
Whether it's masculine or feminine, I would say it's feminine.
It's like feminine with like a masculine
Yeah.
edge.
Yeah, it has masculine edge to it. Have you guys smelled the original Nirvanas before? They kind of have like a masculine edge to it. I believe that's like the representation of James within this fragrance, which is the Olsen twins' brother, and Elizabeth kind of has like that more femininity about it. But yeah. In terms of the ad and the concept, it doesn't really have an ad. I mean, I know the original like Nirvana Black and White had an ad where there was like this girl in the bedroom, she's kind of holding her black dog. It's really matching to that scent. This doesn't really have an ad, but the concept is really cool. As we said before, like whereas Nirvana is more of like a winter kind of a scent, you would agree?
Yeah, and then it's more like fall.
Yeah. Like the colors just kind of say it all. Like they're just kind of like these warm tone kind of colors that you would see in the fall time. But yeah, the concept's really cool. I like it, and I like that they're blendable too. If you guys blend them together, they're really good. What we like to do normally is I like to put this on, then that one on, and we like to put a fruit note on top of it. So we have a top note, a heart note, and then the base note. And I think that's a really cool way of mixing stuff. Okay guys, in terms of similarities and first impressions, people really like it. Yeah, it doesn't like offend anyone.
Yeah, like I've been getting really great reactions with this one.
Yeah, especially because the fall time and the warm like weather's leaving and this cooler weather's coming in and all those pumpkin spice colors are coming in and whatnot on the fall leaves. And yeah, people really like it. It just kind of gives off like a really warm yet mature kind of a scent. I really don't think that's bad. In terms of similarities, mine smells a lot like Stella McCartney's, like original perfume Stella. Kind of has like that very dry rose amber kind of a smell. In terms of his similarities,
Mine's kind of more like, honestly, like Vanilla Incense by Atelier. Like that one is very similar to this. This one I would say is a little more smokier.
yeah, especially because they both contain like the vanilla and oak wood, and then this one kind of contains like the rose note that like Stella contains. So yeah, they're similar to those perfumes. Alright guys, so if you guys are looking for a really good fall scent just based on rose or bourbon vanilla, then get into Elizabeth and James Nirvana Rose or bourbon vanilla. Okay guys, I'm Andrew.
I'm Gerald.
Stay fresh, stay clean, smell good.